Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin. But before we do that, can I request for all of you to come forward and fill in the front seats, please? Kindly move forward and fill up the front seats. Thank you.
Yeah. This film is somewhere in level 8 or 7. Very much
A very good afternoon and welcome to IPE's first 2022 event of the year with the title Entrepreneurial Skill Set, Empowering Youth to Create Leaders with a special guest speaker, Mr. Christopher Teck. To begin our event today, we will start with the National Anthem. Please rise. Please be seated. We now welcome Professor Datuk Dr. Ikram Shah, Vice Chancellor of MAHSA University, to give us his opening note.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. I'd like to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Christopher Teck, Group Chief Executive Officer, Digitally.Asia Group Malaysia and CEO of Cost Effect Digital and SocialGrowth.com, Prof. Ala, COO of MAHSA Group, Mr. Matthew Charles Kyo, MAHSA Group Director, Employability and Industrial Partnership, and Prof. Rosna Muhammad Zain, Director, Internship, Placement and Employability, staff and students. Thank you for coming to the Entrepreneurial Skill Set, Empowering Youth to Create Leaders, organized by the IPE Committee and in collaboration with CEO Office. The economic strength of a country is closely linked to behavior of entrepreneurial leadership. Youth need to be prepared to face and shape the country's economy with the emergence of entrepreneurial ideas and innovations to diversify the country's economic sectors and resources, hence sustaining the country's economy from various sectors. With rapid social and economic development, accelerating world economic integration and internationalization, the entrepreneurship skill is now becoming more important for the youth to ensure positive development of youth leadership skills. Transforming youth as young leaders equipped with entrepreneurship skills, cultivating innovative talents is now a key substance to the country, which should be inculcated and practiced at a very young age. Given today's highly competitive business environment, the construct of entrepreneurial leadership requires a unique type of behavior, which is dissimilar to normal leadership style. The entrepreneurial mindset of a leader and the behavior of entrepreneurial leadership can be seen from the context of practical aspects of entrepreneurship in diverse leadership-based courses. Entrepreneurial leadership is a mindset, focuses organizations on turning problems into opportunities that create economic and social value. They have a positive outlook about the future as they are always trying to improve things. With this, the IPE Committee brings you Mr. Christopher Teck, Chief Executive Officer, Digitally.Asia Group Malaysia, and Chief Executive Officer, Cost Effect Digital and Social Growth.com, to talk about entrepreneurial skill set, empowering youth to create leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ikram. We now invite Professor Dr. Rosna, Director, Internship, Placement and Employability, to give us her welcome speech and introduction of today's speaker.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. I would like to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Mr. Christopher Teck, and Prof. Dr. Ikram, our Vice Chancellor, Associate Prof. Dr. Ala Gasaburau, our Chief Operating MAHSA Group, and Mr. Matthew Charles, MAHSA Group Director, Employability and Industry Partnership, all directors, deans, deputy deans, staff, and students. Thank you for coming to this talk on entrepreneurial skill set, empowering youth to create leaders, organized by IPE Committee and in collaboration with the CEO Office. IPE Committee brings to you Mr. Christopher Teck, Group Chief Executive Officer, Digitally.Asia Group Malaysia, and Chief Executive Officer, Cost Effect Digital and Social Growth.com, to share his experience and views about entrepreneurial leadership. Allow me to introduce our speaker. Mr. Christopher Teck personally led the Alibaba Double 11 biggest online sale campaign in 2018 for Malaysia, Singapore, and Australia, which contributed towards USD 30.8 billion sales, subsequently earning him and his team to win bronze under Excellence in Mobile Marketing in A&M Magazine's Marketing Excellence Awards 2019. He has also worked with leading global brands like ByteDance of TikTok fame, Lenovo, and Maybank. Mr. Christopher Teck has broad experience in starting up ecosystem and social good initiatives, specializing in creating and managing communities for social causes, brands, as well as celebrities, for example, Datuk Lee Chong Wei in the digital space. He was the Director of Information System for the UK and Art Council for Malaysian Students, UCAC, where he helped to revive UCAC, the co-founded Random Alphabets, Global Shapers Community KL Hub, and Young Corporate Malaysians, founder of an award-winning social enterprise, Empowering Youth Endeavors, project, as well as socialgroups.com, a boutique digital agency specializing in word-of-mouth campaigns. Chris has won multiple accolades, including prestige top 10 for under 40, top 10 online personalities by Astro Awani, and the New Man Creative Pioneer Awards. Chris' passion is in nation building among youth and corporate leadership, where he sits as an advisory member in Asia School of Business Eclipse Leadership Energy Awards Council, and often quoted as a thought leader in the country. With this, I would like to welcome Mr. Christopher and invite him on stage.
Hello. Testing. Hello. 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 Okay. Okay. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. All right. So first of all, I'd like to thank MAHSA University, of course, and Matthew for reaching out and inviting me to my first speaking engagement in real life, in actual gravity. I can feel the ground as opposed to being in the virtual room, wearing only the top half and bottom half you don't have to see, right? So those are the days last year, in fact, more than 1 year ago, but I think about 2 years now, that we were living in such a situation that none of us have gone through before. Not the ones who have lived over 50 years, definitely not and definitely the ones that are younger as well. So it's been a really, really different environment, different ecosystem, and more importantly, different level of livelihood, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it's our mental well-being. It's just been very different. And today I hope to share you my own experience navigating through that, and also my life story, really, all the things that Prof has mentioned earlier, that I can share with you from where you are right now as a student, as a university student, that and where you could be going, 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future. And sometimes all these things are not planned, but more importantly, you will have the kind of skill sets, the kind of ideas, concepts that I hope I can share with you through the slides that I will show you later. So do forgive me, it'll be a lot about myself, but I think sometimes the best life stories, the best examples can come from our own story, right? Not from somewhere where you read, not from something that you watch. It's my own life story, and I hope that you can get something out of it today. All right, so as a uni student, I've always been a very happy-go-lucky person. I didn't really think about where I want to go, what I want to do, but one thing's for sure, I want to be a useful person, a person who can add value to somebody. I still remember a time where I had a camera and a lot of people had events and everybody wanted to participate. They just want to join the fun. So who's going to do the work? Who's going to be the cameraman? Who's going to do the important task of recording a piece of information and share it to the world to show that it really happened, right? And that's when I started feeling, hey, I can be that person. Why must I always be the consumer? Why can't I be the person who do things for others, right? And I think that's the kind of livelihood that I had. I don't know if I had it from my parents' upbringing. I don't know if I grew up around the right people, but I think that all of us would want to have that feeling. The feeling of being present, the feeling of being involved, something that you can be dependent on. So to me, that's when I thought, hey, is that value creation? Of course, back then I didn't know whether all these entrepreneurial terms and all these things, but back then I think that's what I was doing. I was creating value through friendship, making friends not just with my peers, but also with my lecturers, with the alumni, anyone who needed help. I just put up my hand. I'm that kind of guy. right? I think that kind of person you would probably want to know, right? You want to know somebody who can do the work. So this picture is actually just a really great symbol. Like I'm nobody. I'm not like the president or the some high grade smart person. I'm just your friend. I'm just the friend that you could talk to. Somebody that can reach out to you and say, hey, do you have can you lend a listening ear? And I'll say, okay, sure. I was that guy, but just by being that guy and being helpful to people around me, I just had a natural attraction, to what people want to hear from me or they want to find me. So that was how I started as in life. It was nothing special. It was not something that you think, oh, it's too far away. I can't be like that person. I believe that everybody can resonate with, being helpful and being present as a friend. And then what happened is that, so that picture was taken in Hyde Park in London. And just to share a little story of how I even got to the UK, I actually knew that my parents could not afford to send me there. But I was lucky enough that a good patron from a church that my parents go to saw that I had the potential. And then they sponsored me to College of Jaffa. I think some of you know this college. And a lot of my friends would say, hey, we're all going to UK, right? And I'm like, I could take one or two choices. I could either say, okay, I'm not going, so I'm just going to see what my parents want me to go take. And it was either APIT, which is now APU, or it was One Academy. Yeah, so I kind of like anime design kind of stuff, so that would be like likelihood where I go. But I didn't want to give up on that peer pressure, right? So I actually borrowed money to apply for UCAS and took like the subjects that I knew I had the best teachers in order to see how far I can go. And next thing I knew, I had straight A's, and I got my placement in Imperial College, joint mathematics and computer science. It's like a degree that nobody wants to join because it's a joint degree, number one, and number two, that only like 10 people around the world will be accepted to it per year. So I just literally took I took a gamble, right? Because I don't know whether I was going to go there or not. But because I took that gamble, I was able to create an opportunity for myself where the same person saw what I was doing and said, Chris, I'm going to send you to UK fully sponsored. So let that sink to you while I share the rest of my my journey on what made the difference. Whether I was special or not, I just did that thing and the opportunity created for me. So when I went to the UK, what I saw was, hey, I see so many smart people in the UK, and they're all, they don't want to come back to Malaysia. So here we had an organization called UKEC. It's basically a student activist body that used to be sometimes like a socialite, football tournament, organizing football tournaments. But when we took over, myself and one more Firdaus over there, we said, hey, I think we can do better. I think we can fight the brain drain issue of the smartest students not coming back to Malaysia and helping our country. And that was something also that I was very passionate for. And that's how I knew that my purpose was creating a better Malaysia. So this is, again, I think around 19, 20 years old. I already had like a purpose. Of course, I didn't know that it's a purpose, but that was my call. I felt like I need to do more. And the next thing you know, we got all the students from all the different universities, Malaysian students, to get together and created a way to communicate with ministers, with corporates, and basically we created the opportunity for the students to know what is happening back home. This is just a sample of some of the funny things that we do, but also some of the more serious things. I think some of you may know Rajan Nazrin, who has supported our endeavors from the beginning. This is when we were still so young. And I don't know if some of you are familiar with student activities, but we were the first batch to start the Malaysian Students Leaders Summit in 2007. And I'm very proud to say that it is something that a lot of people say can't be done, especially because when we talked to the local students here, a lot of them said, impossible, because we were going to invite politicians from both sides. We want to spur critical thinking, but everybody said, no, it can't be done. But what did we do? We made it happen. We talked to all the sponsors. You can see there, CIMB, UEM, We talk to PwCs, the TMs, and we, as students, who are we, right? Why would they want to listen to us? But because we had such ideals, such passion, and we know we can make it happen because we've been organizing careers fair in the UK, it happened. So I just want to share, some of these faces. These are people that could be you or me. We are no different. The only difference is that we had a rebellious streak. And again, as I say all these terms, just remember them, because at the point or right now where you are, maybe you don't know these terms, but it will come naturally to you if you start building these skill sets that will eventually get you to where I hope that you want to be. So I like to term this rebelliously structured. I used to have a joke. In the UK, we like being. We are in a box, but in UK, right, we like to punch the box and see how big it can grow. And in the US, they like to break out of the box. So maybe it's a bit too crazy. But I believe Malaysia, we and UK are more similar, right? So I wouldn't say go out of the box and do crazy things, but definitely within where you are now, there are a lot of things you can do. It's just whether you want to think about those things. Okay, so that was as a student. We started MSLS. Eventually, we graduated, and some of us came back to Malaysia to pursue our career growth. And I got an offer to work in an investment bank, and I still remember my starting salary was 3,005. And remember, at that point of time, 3,005 per month is a lot of money. But nevertheless, I didn't stop at just getting a career. I started with my same friends. You can see one more for those there, building something called Young Corporate Malaysian. What is Young Corporate Malaysian? It's basically an organization just like the UKC, where we get together people that believe in our passion, that a lot of people, like a lot of young people, actually have a lot of things to a lot of potential, but they are not locked. They're still locked. A lot of people not telling them that that to be confident, to be that you'll be able to learn more, or to even be able to network with some of these giants. Some of you may know, of course, Dato' SM Faisal from the Nazar Group, and then Dato' Sri Johan Raslan, he's from PwC chairman. If you were me at that point, at that age, you might be thinking, why would they want to listen to you, or why would they want to be in friends? And I'm not talking about just like hi bye. It's like Chris, what do you want to do? How can I help you? That kind of level. And I'm saying that it can be done, and that's why we created this. We don't want the ability to talk to people older than us, more senior than us, to only belong to us. Why should it belong to us only? We can see that there's more people are able to reach out to people like them. How much more can the youth give back to the country? So that was our sense of purpose. And again, back to this, creating opportunities based on needs. We knew there was a need. We knew there were a lot of young people who also want to talk to the CEOs, but would they have the chance? I kid you not, when we run our YCM events, whether it's a summit or a loan event, when we invite, say, for example, Teguh Zafrul, CEO of CIMB, to come, do you know who goes to the sessions? It is not just the others who want to learn. It's actually CIMB's own junior execs, who want to go. Why? Because they never get to see him. There is no chance to see a person of that stature because there's so many layers of bureaucracy. But we managed to cut it short because we allow people who want this opportunity to take it. Just like how I just wanted to say, thank you for all of you behind there, for sitting down and joining this, because you guys took this opportunity when you could be somewhere else. So if anything, just give yourself a pat on the back, because this is the first start of a huge potential that you could unlock. And eventually, it's all about a win-win-win deal. Like the way that we created events out of nothing, the way that we got a hotel like Nico Hotel, which is now Intercontinental Hotel, to sponsor our venue. The way that we get companies to give 20,000, 30,000 ringgit to a bunch of 21 to 22-year-old, it seems impossible unless you create a win-win-win situation. We knew that the CEOs wanted hungry young graduates. We knew that the students, the fresh grads, needed a better way to cut across multiple layers of dare I say, incompetent people in the middle layer, right? And why? Because every company wants a competent leader. Yeah, but you do get these issues, and we were solving them, and that's why people, top people like Tan Sri Halim on the far right, and of course our ex-Prime Minister on the left side, they provide us these opportunities because we were doing something right. And eventually, what was it all for? It is to build better networks. And this is a very, very important part that I think a lot of people don't see. Networking is not common as Asians, right? You spend around time with your friends, with your classmates, with the people who are easily around you. But you don't take the time to think, who should I talk to? Which group should I enter to learn new things? If you are into artificial intelligence, are you now inside a community who are talking about artificial intelligence? I am a big fan of quantum science, quantum mechanics. The whole atoms and the subatoms, the quarks, and how do I learn more about it? I can't be talking to all of you. I don't know whether you are interested in quantum mechanics, but I can find, right? I can work for it. So the effort of networking itself is something that people don't talk about, but it is very important to reach out to people beyond what you have and to actually learn from them. So building better networks is a really key idea of being, doing what you want to do. So I didn't do just all this corporate stuff. I mean, it makes me money. I got a good, comfortable job and also running young population, but I felt something else was missing. And that thing is unity, right? I don't know if some of you remember, but there was a time where there was a pig head slaughtered and was thrown to a mosque. And everybody was angry. Everybody was like going, the whole country must be a mess, must be messed up. All the people overseas, I don't want to come back to Malaysia. I mean, why? Again, you ask the question, are you going to believe what people say? Or do you think that they are actually a minority and everybody was okay? So Random Alphabets was born. It was born by this guy, Zain. He's also, in another way, a leader that I look up to, just like Firdaus. Firdaus for the corporate, Zain for these kind of things. I was just a follower. But I love these guys. I was willing to support and put my foot down for these guys. So we did a lot of activities. We did, up there is something called the Malaysian Peace Walk, where we got many Malaysians from even outside, because we did it in Bangsar LRT station. Anywhere you are, you can come together and we will form a flag with any kind of strings, whether it's shoestring, whether it's your shirt, you tie it up together and we form a long string, and then everybody will walk and hold their part, right? And then we walk them to Bangsar. We'll say like, sometimes we cut the string. Then you will split to 3-4 people. But eventually they all go to the Padang and they all meet together and say, hey, eventually we're still united, right? Yeah, sometimes we get separate apart, but we are still Malaysians, we still want to unite. And that brings a lot of positivity together. And of course, because we do all these fun things, these are entertainment stuff, right? So social media, the news, they loved it, they lap it up, they talk about it. We do even crazier things like this one. I think it was a pillow fight. It was a pillow fight with a lot of people. Of course, now you cannot do it, not fun anymore, right? COVID. But, times were different back then. We did the Merdeka Train Party. I think, do you remember the Kreatif Sarung? We were actually the first to do it, I think, quite a number of years ago. And not only that, in 2014, we launched a worldwide effort to promote Malaysian culture across the world. And it was amazing. It was amazing to see, not just Malaysians, but people all around the world thinking, hey, what is this sarong thing? Let me wear it, let me join it. It's like a fun movement to make. You cannot imagine the feeling that, you are such a small person, you don't have money, you don't have power, yet you can pull off a movement that can spur action all over the world. It's really amazing. And, I heard some of you from Matthew that you do your volunteer work, you help out the flood victims. You don't know that the small things that you do actually make a bigger impact. The person that you help, the person, not just the victims, but also the volunteers that you work together with, they can be inspired by all these little actions that you do to create a massive impact. So really, you don't see it, but now after 30 years of living my life, I can see all these results, which I can share later. So in all over these things, I just wanted unity in diversity. So it's very interesting how, I don't know if you are seeing it, but as these words comes out, And wherever you apply it, whether it's going to be in your current life as a student, or whether in work, or whether you're starting out as an entrepreneur like myself, it's going to apply very, very much. So while all those things were happening, as I told you, I was doing my first job. So I'm not an entrepreneur by purpose. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur because I felt very risky. It was a bit too risky. So I joined ECM Investment Bank, and I didn't just join. I got involved so much, and I not only became a junior exec, but I became part of the project management team that built the first online share trading platform in Malaysia. And all this is done because why? I had contacts to CEOs. It's easy for me to contact to people. I have contacts to the massive graduate pool, right, through Young Corporate Malaysia. So I could reach out to all the people who are going to say, hey, I want to learn not to use remisiers, but using digital online. How to do online share trading. So you can see how the different things come together to make me someone different, someone that the company could use to work things out. But did I rely on this alone? No. I learned that I need to work with people when I was in ECM Libra. I think this is true for any big organizations. Whether they are above you or below you, you have to know how to work with them in order to build an organization that you're proud of. In my case, just to share a little story, I actually did something called the Friday Chill Out, which is by accident. I just bought like pizzas and say, hey, I think we should all mingle together in office after office hours. And the next thing you know, HR was telling me, Chris, let me give you 2,000 ringgit. Can you do it for the whole company? And the rest is history. All the head of business all know me. All the different departments, they know of this guy, Christopher Teck, who's doing all this karaoke set and buying all these pizzas. And they're wondering like why did he do it? But more important question is, what did I get out of it? I didn't plan it, but all my projects, whether it's like operations and finance not working with each other, why? I know the issue because I could talk to them. Because I could talk to the head of departments and find out what was the real issue. So this, again, is about expanding network, being able to talk to people and identify issues. These are what you need, whether you want to take it to where you are now, if you're going to work for a company or if you're going to start as an entrepreneur, all these skill sets are going to be very useful for you. But at some point, I told myself, I think I can do more. Not just that. A lot of people said, Chris, I think you are wasting your talent in ECM Libra. You could do more. And a friend of mine introduced me to Professor Muhammad Yunus. Does anyone know Professor Muhammad Yunus? Yeah, a couple of friends. That's great. He is the father of social business. He made a concept that it could be a triple bottom line: profit, people, planet. Why is this important? All the companies, most of the companies are working towards profitability. And at some point, many years ago, nobody cared about whether the trees are chopped, whether the sustainable energy is a must or not. Back then, people would say Tesla, electric cars. Why? Don't. It's so expensive. I should get the cheaper choice. But everybody can see. You can see literally issues that we are facing. Movies are created from all kinds of larger problems that's going to happen to us if we don't look into all this. And I thought, wow, whatever that I was doing, all this unity, bring young talents together, but also working in a company that makes profits, how can I find a balance? And that's when he told us, okay, you can do this. And what happened is I created an idea, why can't I get more young people to be like me? Why can't I get more young people to be exposed to things like this, to know more CEOs, to be able to go to any industry and learn from the leaders, learn from the best, so that they become better when they are younger. And that way, you can be that spur of, you can be a leader in the future that we will be able to trust. So that's what I did. We pitched for a grant program, and we got 150,000 from MAHSA, and another, I think 240,000 there by 6. From these Guinness awards. So those of you who drink, they also give out funds, but of course, whether it's halal or not, I don't know. But money is money, right? So I took this money and I took it off, and honestly, guys, that is my first time being a leader. All this while, I have other leaders, right? I have one more Firdaus in UKC. I have Zain in Random Alphabets. In a company that I work for, my CEO is my leader, right? He scolds me often. He makes sure that I do the best. He makes sure that, when nobody's seeing, I always make sure I do the right things. But if I'm alone, if I'm the leader, who is going to watch me? And that is a scary experience. But I took the jump. And I said, I can combine all those things that I was doing into one purpose, one machinery, and it's called iProject, empowering youth endeavors. Why? Because that's what we do. We said, if you are the yo-yo player, I can make you earn money. Now, why is that important? How many yo-yo players are told by their parents, hey, I don't think you can earn money, stop it. How many of you know cheerleading? Hey, you cannot earn money, stop it. You know what? This kills your creativity, it kills your passion. Then you only do the thing that, is making money making. But what if I can make money in whatever you do? And the fact is, you can always make money in whatever you do. You just have to be super good at it. Even today, we Digitally.Asia, we sponsor an esports team called GigFam. GigFam players are being paid lots of money per month to compete in international championship for games that you guys are playing on your phone right now. Yeah, Dota, MOBA, all kinds of games. So when everything you do, you can make money, and that's what we wanted to do. So these are some of the things that we've done. I'm not going to go through it, but what I wanted to solve is that a lot of youths here, we are very scared. we are not exposed to the realities out there. But that's where not all I would say. Like here, for example, to have someone like Matthew contacting, say, industry player, can you come? Can you speak to people? This is what we need. This is what we need to do to reach out to more people and say, hey, wake up. We can do so much more. And we can do it together. Like later on, after this presentation, I have one video to show you, so please don't leave. I also will make sure I finish in time, okay? I need 10 minutes left. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to go super fast so I can show you that video. But what I was trying to do is to solve root issues, and that's what I did. So I started the Student Leadership Symposium. It's almost like MSLS, but it's my own version. Yeah. Again, I stepped up and I said, I can be a leader now. And I asked every student, I said, do you think you're a student leader? They said, no lah, I'm not a dean's list, I'm not a president. I said, no, to be a student leader, you just need to take responsibility for 10 or more people. And suddenly everybody said, I am a leader. And we got them to come. And I got all these people who are leaders in their own industries to come together, and this is what happened. This is what happened. I made it happen on with my team, and it's an amazing feeling, to come up from a high-paying job, 3,500, to take my own salary at 2,000, 3,000 back again. But the reward is tremendous. Some of these people here you see are creating things like Saura Energies, creating sustainable light energy for kampungs in the Sarawak and Sabah area. Some of these people are creating youth programs for Axiatas that is now, really fast-tracking people who are so driven in order to get up to the corporate ladder. And why do we need that? Because the people in the corporate ladder at the top are able to give more money to initiatives like this. It's a whole cycle. And if you don't start now, when it's going to happen? And you say, hey, but Chris, then, but the time you are now old already, you don't get it. Am I doing it for myself? No. I'm building it for the future generation to benefit. Why? Because everybody benefit. My children will benefit from you, your efforts, your work. So this is my moment of pride. I run careers fair that, again, I changed the paradigm. I said, don't look at just your grades. Look at how these students are running activities. So because I told the student leaders, if you're a student leader, if you are AJK, right? Or you are running events. So I told some of these people who run careers activities to say, the companies should also see that they are the head of the marketing and the logistics of this event. And this event has been doing 1,000 students per year. I mean, these guys are skill sets, right? Why must you see just the grades? So I changed the paradigm of all these things. So I'm going to skip this social group part. I think it's enough to see that we did so well. And the last 2 years have been very kind to us. We make almost 5 times our revenue from before. 2 years ago, we were at 1.8 million revenue. So I can leave you to imagination where we are now. but definitely the future is digital. Not only that, we also did a lot of other events. So we used that money to spur more diversity. All the things that you saw in random efforts, I did it in my own company. We invested in YouTubers community. The people that you see today is because we, people like us, support them. We provide them advertising fees from clients. And back then, I remember those days, they say, Malaysia, no talent. I only see UK, US, Japan, Korea. You don't provide, you don't support, of course they cannot grow. So I cannot stop the complaint. I just do it myself. I just invest into the industry. So these are the two organizations that we want purpose. And that's my way of saying my true north. It might seem very messy, right? So many things I'm doing, but is it really in one angle? And I say, yes, it's back to the Better Malaysia that I was talking about. So I evolved to ASEAN. Maybe about 2-3 years ago, I started being a thought leader in saying what ASEAN could be, because if I have a Better Malaysia idea, I can have a better ASEAN idea as well. And I'm part of the Malaysian Young Entrepreneurs ASEAN Association, and I sit together with people like, I think you may recognize Dato Fasli, the e-commerce platform, Fashion Ballet, and there's Dato Kamaruddin from Asia. I'm a I'm like, okay, like two of us are the youngest in the group, but we can be at the same level because we respect each other. And not just that, even my clients go impact level. So Lenovo Asia Pacific, which are 12 countries, are our clients at Social Groove. So my team is working very hard. Even today, if you see any Lenovo creative, is our work, and we take pride of it. Coming from Malaysia, we are creating content for 12 countries. That's something that we take a very big pride, and of course we won awards. And this is my main highlight. I mean, again, we can always say, hey, we are so small, but today I am in the same panel as some of the biggest people in the country. My chairwoman, Tan Sri Jamila, is chairing our council. You have people like people like Tan Sri Ashad, chairman of MAHSA. We got Dato Nora, who is the group CEO, group human resource for Maybank. To be in the same seat as all of these guys is such an honor and such a learning experience. So every time I learn from them, I share in my social media. So there's so much things to be shared, and you guys can be a catalyst of things like this. Believing in yourself matters. So this is I love this photo, right? It's like my name, and opposite is the governor, the one who signs your money last time. So that actually evolved to Digitally.Asia, which is my current agency, where I partnered with a new guy, a friend that I know, but more importantly, a guy who's so much good business prowess that over the two years of pandemic, he turned our company around to do the right things. And then we won quite a number of awards since then. So what's the secret? Very simple. Resilience. All throughout, there's always times when I doubted myself, but I didn't care. I knew what I needed to do because my sense of purpose was real. Whether what I think or not is immaterial. I had resilience to go on and do the right things, and eventually, I got to where I am today. Vulnerability. So iProject that you heard earlier, I had a lot of sad story, but I can tell you now. Like you can find this video. You can search this 3 important biz lesson thing. It's on Vulcan Post. You can read about it. But in a nutshell, my ego didn't allow myself to shut iProject because I wanted to make it continue through the pandemic. But I still shut it down, and I learned a lesson that eventually made me change a lot. Because it boosted my confidence. No, actually, the next slide should be the first one. It changed my mind about what I can be and what I can't be. So a lot of times I thought I can be good at this, but I can't be good at this. But the growth mindset changed all that. The growth mindset says that you might not be good at it, but you still can learn about it. You can still see your weakness and face it and not run away from it. A lot of us, I don't have time to do the whole, put up your hands thing, but a lot of us, we know our weakness. But the chances are you're making bad decisions because you don't face those weaknesses, even though you know your strengths. So I overcome that, and the funny story is, how did I overcome it? I lost weight. Over there, I was 91 kg. It was last year. I started walking because my friend got me to walk, and the next thing I know, I felt better myself because you can't change everything, right? You can't change the pandemic. You can't change people losing jobs. You can't change all kinds of things, but you can change yourself. So that helped me, and eventually that caused me to have confidence, which got me to a really good place right now. And finally, these three things, eventually love, gratitude, and hope is what's going to spur you on. I feel that I could give back so much more. The money that we are spending on influencers, the things that we are doing for companies, and the stuff that I'm doing for the youth market right now. I invested in a number of, I'm an angel investor in some of the youth programs. We can do so much because we appreciate love, gratitude, and hope. And that's something that I know you guys have. Keep strong to it, because there's so much times you can lose hope. But I implore you to keep it on. So that's my speech. I know I didn't have time to basically categorize all those learnings. Those are the skill sets. But I believe that this deck can be shared if you want to see it, and take heed. All those things, if you put it in your head and you intentionally live day by day, practicing those things I talk about, you will get somewhere where you can change things. You can see the change. You can see the change that you want to see, but not just by yourself, but by the people around you, because you matter. You can do it. Don't rely on others. You start it off, and other people will benefit. But more importantly, everybody will benefit. And I hope this really resonates with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher. Let's give him a louder round of applause for an inspiring sharing on a topic that's very symbolic to who he is and his success. And basically, the secrets to his success, which he mentioned here: resilience, vulnerability, growth mindset, confidence, love, gratitude, and hope. And yes, Mr. Christopher, I agree with that. We always tend to think that, why can't somebody do something about this? But that somebody is us too, right? So that's how we need to think and move forward, making ourselves be the agent of change, correct?
Right. Agent of change, right? That's right.
Okay, so now we open the floor for question and answers, and we invite Mr. Matthew to take on this session.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, straight off the bat, do we have any questions from the audience for Chris? Everyone's a little shy? Okay, well, I've been thinking a lot about what you've been saying, Chris, and I think two things occur to me. There are two sorts of people in the audience. Young people that want to become leaders, and older people, more mature people that want to empower them. Okay, to do their part to do it, because one of the core values of MAHSA is going out and changing the world. Okay, so when we're looking, let's say we're 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, what's the first step? Not everyone has confidence. Not everyone has that idea that just occurs to them. Sometimes it's a little slower. So what can we do?
So for this, it requires stepping out of comfort zone, right? The only reason why a person cannot make that first step is because that person may not be able to see what is that first step. It's that awareness, and that's why actually a lot of platforms are available out there. I mean, the fact that all those platforms that I talked about are still as in today. The UKC, the Malaysian Student Leader Summit, all these are still happening today, and that the purpose is actually to create such a platform where you can just register and go for it. And from there on, it will inspire you, because you'll be meeting like-minded people. You'll be surrounded with people who can encourage you, who can not just encourage you, but take the furthest step. In fact, I recently got inducted to some mentorship program where I've always been a mentor, but there is a program that says I can certify you as a mentor with the correct techniques. So do I dare? I mean, to me, it's like, wow, that's a lot of commitment. But I tried it anyway, because around me there were people who said, Chris, I think you can be a mentor, because you've been doing this all this while. I said, hey, I'm really lazy, I like to play games. I'm not the kind that will make sure that you do what you do. But that's a coach, not a mentor. A mentor is only needed to advise you, meet up once in a while, and hopefully give you enough advice. Listen to you to give you back a reflection of their own experience to help you make the right decisions. Because in the end, it's your life. So I think I answered two at the same time, actually. First, for the people who want to be leaders, you need to step out and join activities, join communities. join events. I've already shared some of these available, but you can Google it. You can search yourself. You can do at least that much. But the first step is taken just by participating in one of those events. And for the seniors, for those of you who have so much experience, world experience, not necessarily make money or, like it can be just how to get through somebody whose loved one passed away. Even such a small thing like that matter to a person, whatever your problem is. So for those people, be a mentor. Allow yourself to say, hey, I can always share my time with you. I'm accessible. Share them your WhatsApp number. Share them whatever details, because chances are a lot of them they don't take it lah. You give 10 people, one person will come back to you only. So you're not going to like, after I cannot answer everybody. Don't worry. The market forces will make sure that a lot of people got a lot of distraction, but the 1 or 2 people who will come to you, cherish them, because whatever you invest in them, you will grow to something really big. I know this for a fact.
Okay, thank you. So number 1, confidence is a skill that can be built.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and everyone should be working on their confidence.
Yeah, I pay for confidence. I was in a big downtime when I shut down iProject. That I get a professional therapist, and I think that's fine. I think a lot of people talk about it's like a taboo. I don't need someone to tell me that I got problems with my my emotions, right? But I think that's wrong. Today's world is so different from the last time. Last time it's all buru askar, it's like you just carry a sack of bag, and then you put it down somewhere else. Today's world is all mental. It's your discussion with people, suffering from losses. Imagine your house, flood coming up to the roof, all your things destroyed. How do you deal with that? So I think it's okay. It's okay to seek a therapist, and therapist is a professional industry anyway, isn't it? So yeah, I think they should, if it comes to that point, it's okay to see a therapist.
Okay, good. And that hinges on mental health awareness.
That's right.
Which is also a passion of yours. I think the second thing I want to say, so confidence is a skill that can be built, and just get out there and get involved, anything, make a move.
That's right.
And keep moving. I think those are the 2 things I take away. All right, great. The other thing I want to, and then for people that, let's just say like me, we should be mentoring. We should be stepping in and helping people network.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's another rule. So that's where the confidence builds to networking. And you made that point really well. One of the things that also struck me during your presentation is that traditionally you focus on the profits, you focus on building your career, reaching to the top, becoming a powerful person and making all that money, and then you turn towards the social, helping others, doing things, giving back. But you and your cohort of youthful entrepreneurs, you start with the social. You start with helping other people, and then you turn it in a way to profit. Okay, so I want you to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so that's a good point. We often think, should we be a Bill Gates or should we be a Mother Teresa, right? I mean, both of them do have created an impact that is globally experienced. But can you be a Bill Gates and then eventually make that kind of money that you can now say, hey, 60 billion, I'm going to give any startups that's going to solve the environment issues. Can you do that? Or is it not your DNA? Because to be that person is going to be hard. I know this for a fact because my partner is the business guy. I'm the passion guy, and I am not very good at doing business. It's very hard for me to tell somebody, hey, you should be creating 3 graphics in 1 hour. You must do. You are now doing very slow. That's a very nice way of saying it. It's not going to be that nice, but in order to make profits, that is what is needed. Most corporates apply this theory. Because otherwise, how are you going to create more revenue per head count? You see, even these terms don't even, it doesn't even appear in my whole system until he tells me these things. Yet, I'm the people guy. So I do the other half. I do the caring. I do the nurturing. I do the part where, if you have a passion and you want to pursue, you can do that. And I've gotten enough people, enough partners by my side by doing so. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you need to find a balance. In my case, it was an extreme end, but if you can find a balance, then definitely you will be able to find how you're going to do that triple bottom line thing, right? People. So the planet part is only if you really care about it, but at least people and profit. And I think today's world, a lot of investment is going towards this kind of thinking. and also to these consumers prefer products and services that emulates this kind of thinking, especially in the leadership. So I think things are changing. Consumer behaviors are changing, and companies who only look at profits, they're going to die. And the companies who look into all these areas are going to be the next kingpin of the game.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Any questions from the audience? No? Okay. All right, I think we've come to the end of this, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to see that video you were talking about.
Yes, if it's possible,
Okay.
just that one video, guys, you will enjoy it. It's made for you, and hopefully, inspire you to do what's the best of your abilities.
Okay, great.
While he plays the video, so the organization is called We Love You Box. Me and a couple of friends, we started it together, and we heard so much problems from the doctors, the frontliners, and we decided to get together and find other like-minded people to reach out to the public and sponsors to say, how can we help our frontliners? So this is the result. This is the video.
Kepada doktor, jururawat dan staf hospital kami.
I see. We all see. We see your tired eyes. We see your drained bodies. We see everything that you're doing for us right now and all the hours that you've had to endure.
We know you are fighting hard for us, even though there are few who are fighting for you.
We cannot imagine the horrors you have seen, the hopelessness you must feel,
the impossible choices, or the sacrifices you need to save lives.
We hear you. We share your feelings of fatigue. We understand your frustration. We care for you.
And we are here for you.
Dear Malaysia, now more than ever, our medical frontliners need you.
They are our brothers, sisters, husbands, wives,
aunties, uncles, children,
neighbors, loved ones,
and friends.
They are the rakyat too.
Just like me and you.
Please leave them a message of love
or encouragement on weloveyoubox.com.
Tell them thank you.
Tell them 加油.
Teruskan. Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Fighting.
You got this.
Tell them.
Give them the strength to fight on, whether it be your writings, drawings, or videos.
If you want to do more, like donate or sponsor a care package to our medical frontliners, or even volunteer your time to help us out, we'd love to hear from you.
Dear medical frontliners,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nandri.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, medical frontliners.
And remember, we love you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher. Can we give him another? You have a question, Prof? Oh, we've got another question.
Thank you, Chris, for inspiring talk.
Thank you.
What you said, I agree. It's all about attitude, right? As what the saying goes, you can bring horse to water, but you cannot force the horse to drink the water. So from your past experience, what to make people, not to force them, what is your take-home message? You have the young students here to make them, because some of them, they do not want to be leaders. They just want to be followers. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Prof. I was not a leader. I showed you my life. I didn't think I had the charisma. I didn't think I have what it took. I don't have money. I don't have time sometimes. I like the carefree life. I like to play the games. I like to watch my anime. In fact, my big heroes are Naruto, Luffy. This is my life. But I see problems. I can't unsee it. How can I not do something about it? I think this is something that is in you somehow. It must be. You can't be the kind of person that can see and just leave. And if you are doing it, it just means that you are scared or afraid, or you scared you get in trouble lah. I think that's what Asian values teach us. You find a 50 ringgit on the floor. Do you pick it up? Oh, after somebody video you and say that you're stealing money. This so much suspicion, so much suspicion. I think that's the word. So we are not taught to be brave. We're not taught to be courageous. We're not taught to be doing the things because you're doing the right things. You shouldn't care. Like the unity, just now random alphabets. When we did the KL freeze for unity, like where everybody given a time and then we go to this place and then we suddenly freeze for I think about 10 seconds, around 10 seconds. The police all come, why is this? Because we were not allowed to congregate. There was a time that it was against the law, but we were having fun. So why did we do it? We did it because if we're not doing anything wrong, we must do it. If we are seeing something wrong, don't be a hero. Don't be a hero. Don't do it by yourself. But find the right tools. Call the right authorities. Do the right thing. So I think a lot of us are fearful. I think we're just fearful. And I think what we are doing, I hope that as you get around the right kind of people as well, just being involved with certain groups or communities who are doing, a flock together, then you're not so scared. I think that's the way. And that's what we're doing. That's why we build communities. We build communities so that you're not alone. So that you're not the only one that's going to take the 50 ringgit. Okay, that's a very bad example. So that you're not the only one that's going to pick up a Coca-Cola bottle on the floor. It's true. You see a lot of time people pass by the Coca-Cola bottle on the floor. I don't want to pick up. Somebody will pick up. No. So we want to make a culture or community big enough so that everybody will pick up the Coca-Cola on the floor. And if you see somebody dropping it, then they will say, hey, can you pick it up, please? And you don't feel embarrassed because it's the right thing to do. So I think my answer to you is we have to slowly build a community. It starts from us, then a friend, then suddenly one group of people is going to be that brave person or courageous person who can say, hey guys, let's pick up those rubbish on the floor. Just simple as that. Thank you for the question. I think that's what started it. I cannot unsee it, and I just want to make sure that everybody felt it was easy to do what I want to do also. So I don't feel alone anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher. That was a very good answer. Anything else, Prof? Do you like to ask? Anyone else with a question? No one. Okay.
Okay. I do have contact details. I forgot that one more slide. So you can find me at Spinzer on Instagram. I do my best to do positive content because I think all of us need positivity. And if there's a book that I want you guys to read, this guy is the one that helped me, be from 91 kg to now I'm about 78 kg. So Atomic Habits is a really good book. I don't read books. I read animes and mangas. So this is definitely a good book because I read it. It tells you that if you create good habits in your life now, it compounds. Just like how your money compounds in savings, your good habits compounds, and when good habit compounds, you're going to be better and better, and you're going to be crazier and crazier, and one day you will come to a point where you can change things because you're no longer alone or you're no longer incapable. So Atomic Habits, please get it. Yeah. Or contact me, my email, follow me on social media. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Christopher. So instead of only being the person to pick up the rubbish, maybe we can start telling people to stop throwing the rubbish also. Yes. All right. Okay. We've come to the end of our session. To give us our closing note, let's welcome Professor Ala Kesavarao, Chief Operating Officer of MAHSA Group of Academic Institutions.
Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Ikram, Mr. Christopher, and colleagues. First and foremost, I wish to thank you, our guest speaker, Mr. Christopher Teck, for an outstanding sharing on a topic which we believe what will make a difference to our graduates' lives and the global economy. Thank you, Mr. Christopher. One more applause for him, please. And I would like to thank our IPE chairperson, Professor Dr. Rosna, and our Director of Employability and Industry Partnership, Mr. Matthew, for making the arrangements for the first ever IPE event for 2022. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Mr. Man. With you. IPE, when we started last year, a year ago, and we were also not sure at which direction we are going and what we are going to do. There are some similarities I would like to mention where Mr. Chris was mentioning today, and there are a lot of similarities in each and every activity that we resemble, whether we start with our AA, or IPE, or our RIA. Of course, there is an interlining, a linked connection between the previous activities and now. But if you could look at his presentation, today we are talking about entrepreneurship, and today we are talking about empowering the youth. There are few students here, but majority of us are staff here. How do we pass this message? What an inspirational personality, Mr. Christopher. And look at the achievements. During achievements, 40, the most influenced 40 under 40, Maya, and so many achievements. There is something to learn from each and every picture that in his presentation, and something to get inspired in each and every word. Yes, there are a lot of things that are spoken about, but one thing I would like to mention in his entire speech, which is he was talking about the values and the teamwork that can be linked about the item that you mentioned, Mr. Chris, where the pig head was cut and thrown into a religious place, and then it has become sensitive, and then the whole hell broken out, and then we are thinking about what's going on. One word he mentioned, that is an isolated incident. Yeah, we're all here, we're okay with it. And we overcome it. How do we overcome? We join hands together. There are one or two people always try to achieve something else, we don't know, or they want something else out of any situation, which may divert the entire system. It happens, it could happen in an institution, in an organization, in a country as well. But how he mentioned by joining an event in Bangsa that could inspire other people to overcome this kind of thing. This is a very valid point. And I was looking at the picture, and then, yeah, there's no wonder he reached where he is today by achieving all his success. I'm seriously thinking that we should invite him one more time. What do you guys think? Because the time is too short, all right? So we will plan for one more event. And we should plan for one more event. We spend some more time. And not just on IPE. Thank you very much for the IPE platform today. And then we could expand further, and where our students can listen to him and what he has achieved and what he's doing for the nation today. And it could inspire many other people. All right. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Chris and the team. We'd like to see you again. That's all I thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Allah. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our event. Thank you for your presence here. For those who were not able to sign in into your QR code for attendance, there is a new Google Form QR code that has been put up. Kindly do so before you leave the hall. Thank you. Good evening, and thank you very much.